We just really appreciate everyone being here, and thank you to our Esther and our Uncle Jim for having us be here in this spot, because this is somewhere we love to be here. So we always had our family gatherings here, and so that's why we wanted to have it here where we're here. And it means a lot to us. You're all here today, and our Uncle Dale and Rita came all the way from Arkansas.
I think they traveled the farthest. So does anybody want to share anything about our dad?
I love him.
I do want to know that yesterday we did have a service, and but we all kept some of his ashes, and they're all here in this box here. And then I know this is Rebecca and Don and Nana had little necklaces made with some of his ashes in here. So he's here with us, and I know just it's one of those things where he would just love to be here. So, he'd just be so happy to see everyone here, celebrating here.
Yeah. So my dad used to tell stories.
Yes.
All the time, his stories. And one of the ones that is my favorite is when he took a girl out for a date.
This was before I met
yes. Of course. And she got drunk, and he didn't know where she lived. But he didn't want to just leave her, So he took her to a cemetery. And he rested her against the headstone. Because he figured the cemetery is one of the safest places to be. And no one would bother her. So, and then the other story was him had so drunk with his Marine buddies that they couldn't get out of the ditch, but they didn't realize all they had to do was stand up.
That's the one I was going to say. Yeah, they crawled around the ditch about a half hour before they realized all they had to do was stand up.
And he used to talk about how he met my mom at the Ups and Downs roller rink in Escondido. And he knew right away, but he wasn't allowed into the house, right, Ansis? So what did he do?
No, he wasn't allowed in the house after dark.
After dark. So, but what did he do?
Slept on the lawn outside.
Because he wanted to be as close as he possibly could.
Lucky you
And my parents only knew each other a couple months before they were married. And I think my mom said she didn't even really know his last name.
She met him about 2 months before she turned 18. And she, right away knew. And she asked Mom if they'd get married. And Mom said, no, not until you turn 18. And 2 months after she was 18, they got married. So they knew each other 4 months.
Okay, 4 months, yeah.
Uncle Dale, do you have any memories of my dad back then? This is my mom. For those who don't know, this is my mom's brother.
He was such a neat guy.
Yeah.
Never any problems. Always quiet. He was so quiet you almost didn't know him. 2 sisters, they both were Marines, and they couldn't have done any better.
Yeah. This is true.
I'd say my dad, he's interred along with my mom in Oak Hill Memorial Park, as well as with
Uncle Don
and Aunt Lucy Carroll's.
Well, actually, I don't think Aunt Lucy's there yet.
Well, but they're all
all together. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all there for my mom's wedding, and my mom and dad's wedding, and now they're all together.
When he dated her, he came over. He's wearing bib overalls, blue bib overalls. I thought, man, what's this? But he was all dressed up. And
you forgot the cowboy boots.
Well, who could look down?
The other story he used to tell was when he took my mom to meet his mom for the very first time. She lived in, was it Florida or Georgia at the time? I can't remember. But anyway, he was showing off to impress her, and he accidentally shot his mom's favorite chicken. And she was mad. So she made him pluck it, and she made him prepare it so that she could cook it for dinner that night. But she was not happy that he was trying to impress the girl and shot her favorite chicken.
Yeah, my dad, he was such a quiet guy, but so when he spoke, you really wanted to listen.
Yeah.
Right. What he had to say was something you really wanted to hear because it was special or important or funny.
But he always talked to Ginny.
Yes, he talked to the other quiet ones because he talked to my brother-in-law. Well, my brother-in-law Fred is pretty quiet, and they would strike up conversations, and that's pretty funny. Rose, do you have any thing you want to share?
I want to say that after we lost our mom, we were so fortunate that he
Yes.
found love again with Rose, and
Yes.
she took such good care of him. And I don't think he would have been here as long as he had if
Yeah.
it weren't for you.
Well, before we got married, we were talking about it and then figuring on what day. But this is how he proposed to me. How would you like me for your birthday? Because we got married on my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh God! What a knucklehead! Pardon me? Oh no, he was still on bluegrass.
Coincidentally, Rose
Coincidentally,
used to live at our old house on Bluegrass.
I used to own the house.
Before we lived there, and my mom and her were friends at Tops, and we didn't know that, but she used to live in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like whatever the word is for that, kismet.
One thing about your dad is he just showed with his face how much he loved you. With the grandkids, you see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And with us, because we're not here enough, so he was always happy to see us.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he was always, he had those,
We're only here once every couple of years. Okay.
yeah. And he grew up in a family of 10 kids. He was the third oldest, and he just loved even if he was quiet and didn't express himself, that he just loved having people around him. And I know that,
He came a long way in life, from a shack with dirt floors and a box. His crib was a drawer. So he came a long way. He did a lot of adventures that people didn't really know about. He played he played the banjo. He played
stand-up bass.
Bass in a band.
I got a guitar when I was, in my 20s. I brought it over, and he's like picked it up and he started playing it.
He
He
raised
like
a bunch of good kids too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
And he was a good dancer too, which I didn't discover.
Oh,
And
really?
he was sad because my wedding we didn't have dancing. And so when we had Dawn and Robbie's wedding reception here, he finally got to dance. And it was hard to keep up. But I realized how such a good dancer he was until he did that. Alex always loved his waffles.
Yeah, he made waffles for his
Grandkids and grits and eggs for us.
every week.
No
His
matter
birthday.
no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it the same. And he would always be like, "It's not that hard." I'm like, "Yes, it is."
Maggie was just saying that's how she feels about his tuna.
Oh,
Yeah. He had special things that he made, like even just growing up, My mom cooked a lot, but he would make the stuffed peppers, and my favorite was like breakfast for dinner.
yeah.
So he'd always make his grits and eggs and waffles.
And he used to make a roast, and Mom, because she would rotate. We'd have roast, we have fried chicken, we rotate it. All those years, she would make a roast at least once a week, and he didn't tell her until way far into the future that he never liked the roast. Because he didn't want to upset her, so he still ate it.
He lived a long, good life, and he just had so many adventures before we were born. I just love looking at his old photos. He just lived a lot, and he had a lot of different types of experiences in his life, and he came a long way, and
We would ask him if he wanted to go somewhere, we're going to go on vacation. I've already been lots of places. I'm good.
we did go camping.
Yeah,
when we were kids. We like to go to the mountains.
Yeah. He would show up at the football games, and when I was in band, I remember seeing him up in the stands. I mean, I know that mostly he was there for the football.
Well,
But he at least stayed
did
for
he
the-
ever go see his daughter play football?
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, he came.
Oh,
to see
yeah.
me play football.
He came to see Carey play
While
football.
Jason's dad was my coach.
Yeah.
And Pop Warner.
Yeah, she was better than most of the boys too.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know if it's because they just didn't want to hurt her or what, but she could outrun them.
Yeah, it was fast. I don't know about the other stuff. I did make one touchdown. I caught it in goal.
End zone.
It's I can't remember what they called it. Like when you caught the pass.
Touchdown.
Oh, it's just a touchdown? But no, I thought it was like when you catch the ball in the end zone. Is it called something?
touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown. Thinking there was some other fancy
And
word
then
for it.
when you do that, then you're supposed to dance and pop the
Oh.
football on the ground. So the
Well, they didn't do that all back then.
Even when he was in the hospital, for about 6 weeks, well, in and out, you know, and even then, as he was going through, you know, what he went through, he stayed so strong and dignified, and had a sense of humor.
He did.
You know? Even like when he was in the hospital, he would get his breathing treatments. He was like, "Oh, they're bringing me my weed."
Yeah.
Or he would say the sharks are circling again because every shift change they had to come in, they had to check your vitals, they had to, and he'd be like, the sharks are circling again. Every new shift.
And then the priest came in and talked to him once, and we came up as he was leaving, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, you know," and he's like, "Yeah, he said a little prayer, and then he shuffled on out." He just had a lot of, you know, because he was so quiet. Like what did come out was just such a, I mean, to me it was a delight.
Yeah.
It was also just something that, you know, he just keeping that with me. You know,
For sure. He
Yeah,
picked the fellow quiet ones, and
Yeah.
he had conversations with them.
And one of you girls said, "He's talking to Jimmy."
I remember I always used to get a little tug on the hair. Like when we were here, I'd feel this little tug, and I said, "Oh, let's go, Bobby."
Did you just tug on him?
Yeah, he didn't pull it hard.
No, I said, did you just?
Oh, wow.
No,
And-
so scary. No, but I do kind of feel like he's here. I feel like he's part of it.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he
I
is.
think he is. I know, you know, just those moments, you know, especially when these big life changes happen, you know, and in the hospital. I remember when I was going to see, it was raining a lot, and I was going to see him, and there was a rainbow, and it went right down to where Tri-City was, you know, and he was, for the first few weeks he was in the hospital, he was in the same room, the hospital room that my mom was in when she died. And so it just these,
And there were signs then too.
but, you know, after all that time he just had this really, it was almost like bringing him to that moment with the doctor in the intensive care unit, you know, who, it was just a beautiful moment where he was just so clear, and like the doctor explained everything to him and let him have that decision, you know, so he got to make his own decisions at the very end to go, he wanted to go peacefully. He thought that sounded like
The best way to go.
The best way to go.
And he had the right doctor at the right time to help him.
Yeah. And the next day after he was in there, and you know, some of his last moments, I showed up. Dawn was there and Rebecca was there, and he was talking a lot about going into the rainbow, and you know, he had somewhere he had to go, and he was trying to get out of his bed. And he wanted to go to the rainbow, and in that moment, like, I played him this song, and so I just wanted to play it now, as a way to kind of remember, because I feel like that's where he went. You know, we played this song for him, and he just relaxed and just calmed down and was able to fall asleep after having this kind of moment, you know. And so I just feel like this song to me, it just really, it was almost like a lullaby for him, you know, in that time, and kind of, to me it tied into the rainbow that I saw, like, when he first went into the hospital. So I'm gonna play this song, you know, because I'll just kind of listen together, you know, and just kind of remember, you know, my pops, remembering my dad. And
used to. I watched them move for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I see skies all blue, and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Right. Well, we just want to thank everyone again for being here. And I just know that my dad were here. He just loved it that we're all here, in honor of him.
Wake up where the clouds are far below.